Just sit yourself onto a lift and then just come into cross leg position. Just come into good cross legs, just feel that you are sitting with levelness. Hold onto your knees and then elevate the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Look down at the floor at something that doesn't move so that your eyes remain still in the sockets. And then draw your attention back to the seat bones. Just adjust if you feel uneven. And focus on filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. And emptying the lungs from the top to the bottom. Elevate the heart area to the ceiling, drawing your shoulders down, bring your hands into Namaste, push the palms firmly together, lengthen from your armpits and into your elbows. And then allow your eyes to gently close. Focusing on inhaling from the bottom of the lungs to the top, inhaling evenly into both lungs, and exhaling evenly from the bottom to the top. So from the top to the bottom, with the out breath. So inhale from the bottom to the top, exhale from the top to the bottom. So we're not controlling the breath, we're just observing it. Just following the breath. And with an exhalation, draw your chin down to meet the chest, lift the chest up to meet the chin. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area, and then release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Bringing the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. A gesture of wisdom, of physical intelligence and peacefulness that we can carry with us into our practice as an intention. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Hold onto your knees. Elevate the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down away from your arms, from your ears. Take a deep inhalation, and with an exhalation, turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across. Your abdomen and your ribs and your shoulders, keeping your neck just really still in the socket. Not in the socket, what I'm talking about. Just looking forwards. Breathing in through the nose and using the out breath to intensify the turn. Come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift it up into the chest. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the left. Digging the back hand into the floor. Maintaining balance in the seat bones. So if you feel that you have rolled over to one side a little, then draw the torso back so that the torso is directly between the two hips. And then come back to the centre. Come off the seat bones and sit back on your heels. Have the big toes together and the knees apart. And press your shins into the floor. Press your shins into the floor. And then elevate the heart area up to the ceiling, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. From forwards, hinging at the hips, keeping the seat bones in contact with the heels. And then bring the forehead down. If there's any problem bringing your head down, then put a block underneath your head. Press the palms into the floor. Draw the tailbone down towards the heels, lengthening the lower back, lengthening the sacrum spine down towards the tailbone, just broadening the lower chest, broadening the lower back, listening to the breath. Come up onto your knees. If you're not doing dog down, do supta baddangulyasana. So lay on your back, knees apart, feet together. Otherwise, come up into dog down. Just feel how the body feels in the pose at this precise moment in time. Activate your legs, press the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs. Tightening the kneecaps, pressing the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs, pressing the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees. Feeling that in whichever pose you are working on, whether it's supta baddangulyasana or advisable, dog down, then observe the balance of action. Is there even action happening in both sides of the body. In supta baddha you can interlock the fingers and extend your arms over your head along the floor. Just to activate the pose. Just be in the pose and observe how your body responds to it this morning. Step your feet forwards from dog down and then come up into a standing position. Come up into a standing position from supta baddha, or you can stay if you prefer. And then bring your feet as wide apart as your mat. So your feet as wide apart as your mat. Spread the toes. Have the heels on the edge of the mat. Feel that they're there on the edge of the mat. Lift up into the chest. Squeeze your elbows toward each other. Lift into the chest. And then hinge at the hips, keeping the legs straight as you reach forwards and into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Just reaching down to the blocks. And then just staying on that higher lift. Be on your fingertips. Observe the action of your legs. Are they activated as they were in dog down? Are you lifting the fronts of the thighs? Are you turning the fronts of the thighs inwards so that you feel that the backs of the thighs broaden outwards? The other week we were talking about this corkscrew action of turning the fronts of the thighs inwards. The backs of the thighs broaden outwards, turning the front of the shins inwards and the backs of the calves outwards. So it's like a corkscrew. So work those legs in a corkscrew action. And then feel how much more you can pick up the seat bones. Corkscrewing those legs, feeling the backs of the legs broadening outwards. Lifting the seat bones and then projecting the chin and the chest forwards. If you want to, you can go down lower, but just be cautious of overdoing it if you've got a bad back. So it's better to stay sometimes on the top level, just activating those corkscrew legs, lifting the seat bones and projecting the chin and the chest forwards, always keeping the head lifted. Reach down to the floor, then do so, but never at the expense of the action of the legs or the extension of the spine. Keeping those firmly engaged. Corkscrewing the legs. Projecting the chin and the chest forwards. If you want to from here, you can go into full Uttanasana, although Andrew, I think maybe today just stay in half Uttanasana. If you want to, you can go into full Uttanasana. Thumbs into the crease of the elbows, wrap your fingers around your elbows. So maybe Andrew stay in half today. Yeah. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Maintaining that significant corkscrew action of the legs. Lifting from the heels up into the hips. Allowing the body to extend, the upper body to extend. Okay. Come back into half Uttanasana if you were there. And then bring your hands into your hips, bend your knees on the way up if you need to. And then come up into Tadasana. Have the inner edge of the feet together. And lift up into the chest. And again, activating those corkscrew legs, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards. Tucking the tailbone in. Elevating the heart area to the ceiling. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump your feet nice and wide for trikonasana. Turn your left toes in and your right leg and foot all the way out. And then we corkscrew the legs in the opposite direction when we're kind of facing the front and going over to the side. So turn the front of the thigh inwards, feel the back of the thigh broaden outwards, corkscrewing that leg down into the foot. Do the same with this back leg. So the hips face the front. Suck this hip in a little, and then keep the torso evenly long. As you reach down and find the shin, turn the chest. So corkscrewing those legs, almost corkscrewing the torso, drawing the abdomen away from the floor. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, reaching up towards the top hand. So have your hand directly over your head. I've run out of ceiling height a little here, so I've got to kind of make a slight adjustment to that. But turn the chest up to the face of ceiling, corkscrew the legs, and then really draw the abdomen up. Look up, breathe in and out through the nose if you can. And then reach back, come back to the centre, and swap the feet around. Turn the right toes in, the left leg and foot all the way out. And again, just corkscrewing those legs, just feeling that corkscrew action of the legs, but this time it's from the outside, from the inside out. From the inside of the thigh to the outside of the thigh. So look at that front leg, corkscrew it. Think about the back leg, corkscrew it, lift up into the chest, and then come over to the side. Turning those legs really significantly and corkscrewing the torso, lifting the abdomen away from the floor. Maintaining that corkscrew action. Keep the big toe down. If you overdo that corkscrew, then the big toe wants to lift. So keep turning that corkscrew, but keep the big toe down. And then come back to the centre. Bring the feet parallel. And then step or jump your feet back together. And just come back into Tadasana. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Turn the arms, again with a corkscrew action. Turn the palms all the way out. Rotate the arms in a corkscrew all the way up into the socket. Rotate the armpit chest forwards. Rotate the crease of the elbows towards the ceiling and almost to the backs of the room, to the back of the room. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Feeling that the arm corkscrews from the shoulder, from the upper arm into the wrists into the palms. Just listen to the breath. And then just release the arms. Just feel how much you have brought into the shoulders just from that simple action. And then one more time, corkscrew the arms, corkscrew the legs. So the legs are corkscrewing from the outside in. The arms are rotating so that the crease of the elbows are facing the sides of the room, almost trying to get them to the back of the room. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. And then gently release, just let the arms soften. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Feeling the inhalation and the exhalation. Extend your arms forwards, interlock the fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and then raise your arms over your head in baddangulyasana. Keep corkscrewing the legs. The fronts of the thighs turn in, the backs of the thighs turn out. Backs of the fronts of the shins turn in, backs of the shins turn out. Push the inner knees away from each other. Lift the inner knees up towards the groin, and then continue to corkscrew the legs. Tuck the tailbone in, draw the belly button to the spine, draw the lower ribs to the spine. Reach from the armpits into the palms, keeping the shoulders down away from your ears. Third vert, baddangulyasana. Just bring your arms back. Swap the interlock of the fingers so that the other index finger is on the top of the stack. And then turn the palms all the way out, raise your arms up. Keep corkscrewing those legs. The more you corkscrew the legs, the more you can tuck the tailbone in. The more you can lift the bladder region to the abdomen. Lift the abdomen to the diaphragm, up into the collarbone. Drawing the shoulders away from your ears, extending from the armpits into the palms. Keep pushing those inner knees away from each other, lifting the inner knees up towards the inner groins, and that gives you more space to corkscrew the legs. And then gently release. Come back to konasana. Okay, we're going to come down onto the floor, and I want you to get a bolster. If you've got a bolster, if you haven't got a bolster, then you can use some cushions. Have a bolster in along the floor, and have a folded blanket for your head. You can come into supta, baddha konasana. So you pull your feet in towards the seat bones, have the knees apart, and then you're not sitting right up on top of the bolster at this stage. There's a small gap between the back and between your bolster and your back. It does depend on how bulky your bolster is, however. If you've got a really new bolster, they're often really kind of bulky. This is quite an old one, and it kind of yields quite a lot. So I can sit a bit closer. But if you sit too close, you can kind of trap your lumbar a little. So just lift up into the chest, elevate the heart area upwards, and then guide yourself down along the bolster. Make sure your head doesn't roll back. So if your chin is in the air, then put more lift underneath your head. Pick up your head from the back of the neck and then lengthen the base of the skull away from the neck. It should feel really nice to do that action. Bring the arms onto the floor and just feel the openness that the bolster brings. If there's discomfort in your hips, you can put blocks on the outsides of your thighs, remember. And then allow the body to just initially just to mold into the shape of the bolster. So listen to the breath. Observe the in-breath. Observe the out-breath. Just give me a little thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me know how you're feeling. Okay, good. Good, good, good. So feel the broadness of the chest. Feel the broadness of the abdominal region. Feel the broadness of the lower ribs. So sitting on, laying back on the bolster gives us lots of space in the chest. So focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations, long, slow, deep, deliberate exhalations. So we're not trying to control the breath or change its natural rhythm. I just want you to observe it. So we're not controlling the breath, we're just observing it. Observe as you inhale how the chest expands upwards and outwards. Encourage that action. As you exhale, observe how the chest lowers and relaxes. The intercostal muscles between the ribs relax. Observe the sound of the inhalation. Observe the sound of the exhalation, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose if you can. Observing that the sound of the in-breath is different to the sound of the out-breath. Okay, push your elbows into the floor, lift the chest first, and then bring yourself up into a seated position. Just hold around the shins. Roll onto the fronts of the seat bones and elevate the heart area up towards the ceiling. Just listening to the sound of the breath. And then bring your legs into swastikasana, or if you can do half padmasana, you can come into half padmasana. And then hold on to your knees, lift up into your chest, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. And then turn to the right side. Digging the back hand into the floor so that you stay on the front edge of the seat bones. Draw the abdomen across and the ribs and the shoulders. Just listen to the sound of the breath. Back to the centre, hold onto your knees. And then turn to the left, drawing your abdomen across your ribs and your shoulders, digging the back hand into the floor. And then come back to the centre. And then come off your lift, and then, come off your seat bones, and then sit back on your heels facing your bolster. Now, if you can lift the bolster any higher, if you can make the lift any higher, then that's good. To make your bolster higher, you can put a couple of blocks underneath the bolster or underneath your cushions, and then you come forward onto a higher lift. Or if you've got more than one bolster, you can pile one on top of the other. So we're just going to come into a restorative child's pose. So try and give yourself as much height as you can, and then lift the chest, lift the abdomen, drive the chin and the chest. Drive the chin and the chest forward so that the abdomen rests on the bolster. Keep the head extending forwards towards the end of the bolster. And then let your head rest on one side. Let the elbows drape down to the floor. If your elbows touch the floor, bring them wide enough apart so that you're not supporting your weight with your arms. We don't want any conscious action. We want to just drape over the over the bolster. So allow yourself to just drape over the bolster like honey dripping down a tree branch. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Not trying to control the breath, just allowing the breath to be gentle and soft. If this makes you feel in any way uncomfortable or creates tension in the chest, then come out of the pose and go back into supta baddangulyasana with the bolster underneath your back. So just allow yourself to relax. Letting the shoulders soften like wax dripping down the candle. Let go of the muscles of the arms and the legs. Letting the hands relax. letting the fingers relax, letting the skin of the palm of the hand soften like warm wax, backs of the hand softening like warm wax. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Just gently pick up your head and bring your head over to the other side. Just resting the other side of the face on the bolster. Just feeling that gentle stretch in the neck. Allow the muscles to become totally passive. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Swap the side of the head, just rest your head on the opposite side. Just letting the body relax over the bolster. So in this pose we can incorporate a back breathing process where you breathe into the space between the shoulder blades and out into the armpits. And then a normal exhalation. And then the following exhalation, you breathe into the middle of the back and out into the side ribs. And then a normal exhalation. And then the final breath is down into the lower back and out into the hips. And then a normal exhalation. And then you can rotate the exhalations around that sequence. The upper back, normal exhalation, the middle back, normal exhalation, and the lower back, normal exhalation. So just cycling around those 3 breaths. Letting the back expand with each inhalation. If that breathing makes you feel anything other than blissful, then just go back to normal breathing. Just rest your head on the other side one more time. Just going back to that back breathing process. push your hands into the floor and then bring yourself back up into just sitting back on your heels, sitting back in Virasana. Just observing the energy of the chest, of the back chest, the energy of the breath. And then we're just going to finish in a basic relaxation pose, just a simple shavasana. So have the bolster front underneath your head. And then have a bolster front underneath your knees. And because we're being still, then if you feel like you might need some extra clothing or a blanket, then use the blanket. So I tend to cover my legs so they're exposed when it's this time of year. And then you just come down onto the blanket, so down onto the mat with the blanket, just supporting the back of the neck and the head, and then I want you to just gently release into the floor. So cover yourself up if you need extra warmth, unless your room is already nice and warm. And then allow yourself, once you've found your position, allow yourself to release into the floor. So feel that you are comfortable. Feel that you're in a straight line. Feel that the body makes contact with the floor and the bolsters, and the bolster and the blanket. Allow the muscles of the arms and the legs to consciously unhook. That action of relaxing the arms and the legs requires conscious effort. So let the muscles completely surrender, unhooking them from the bone. Letting the bones become heavy for a moment. Letting the body become heavy on the floor. Draw your attention into the soles of the feet, so that the sole of the foot tingles with consciousness, the muscle and the skin and the flesh tingles with awareness. And then consciously relax the soles of the feet. Softening them like soft wax. Softening the sole of the foot, softening the skin and the flesh and the muscle and the bone. Just completely relaxing the soles of the feet. Then soften the palms of the hands. Feel that the palms of the hands soften like warm wax. Feel the skin of the palm of the hand. Allow the fingers to naturally curl. Bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb if you haven't already done so. Softening the palms of the hands so that they tingle with consciousness. And then observe how a feeling of irrepressible positive energy radiates from the bones all over the body. That positive energy radiating from the bones and into the muscles. And into the organs. Into the flesh and the skin. Just feeling the body like the body is full of a golden light. And the skin radiates with that golden light. Just basking in that feeling of energetic lightness. Using your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling of energetic lightness down into the toes, into the fingertips, and everywhere in between. All the way up into the top of the head. That golden lightness penetrating every part of the physical body. Okay, when you're ready to disturb yourself, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. Bring yourself back into this pose of Shavasana, open your eyes. And then bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster, have your feet apart and your knees together. Just gently resting your back into the floor. then draw your knees in towards your chest. Have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, just massaging your back into the floor. And then very gently roll over onto your right side. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. And then come into cross legs. Come into cross legs with your hands in the masti. Just a final spinal lift. Drawing your breath in through your nose down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice. A good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists and the restorative poses bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside. And then gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Acknowledge the positive energy you've created around the heart area. And send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel as though you've really gently lifted your energy and brought good positive energy into your body and mind. So thank you very much for joining me.